Hello, class. This is Brian McCoskey, and I'm here to give my post-mortem for the game, which I guess I will call Untitled Muffin Game. I don't know. I haven't really called it anything. I just used it for this class. In this game, you escort a big muffin like so, and other muffins will spawn in these target points, and they will chase either you or this muffin right here. And when they get to you, they apply damage, and ultimately you have to stay alive for as long as possible. And then once you or the escorted muffin dies, then the game is over, and then it restarts. So this game is essentially a concept, a proof of concept, or a prototype, but it works. And for this class, we learned how to do a bunch of stuff on C++. I myself am not very good at C++, and so this class was really, really good and forced me to learn the C++. So ultimately, I've already talked about the muffin you escort, the enemy muffins. You also in this game have health medkits that spawn every 5 seconds after you've taken one that increase your life after you've been hurt. You have objects in this game. This one shows lava. So you have lava objects in this game that will damage you as well. You have a room with a bunch of obstacles that just move randomly, that get in your way. And then you have a room that whenever you enter turns off all the lights. This was one of the first times I've ever worked with lighting. I'm not used to working with lighting, so this was a very good opportunity for me to learn how lighting works and operates. And I have a very rudimentary knowledge of how lighting works, and I'm looking forward to delving more into that. Because I think lighting can obviously adds atmosphere and can also apply interesting game mechanics as well. As you'll see in this game, the lighting applies an interesting mechanic. So overall, I'm going to play the game a couple times, and then I will talk about what I could have done better and what I really liked about this game. So without further ado, here's the game. The game starts with the camera going to your character. All right, so here's the muffin that I am escorting, and one of the enemy muffins have already spawned. So as you can see, one of the aspects of this game is we've got all this stuff blocking the way, and so that provides all these provides obstacles. And the muffin's trying to get to this other room, and he's struggling. I actually kind of like it. For my final turn-in, these were much smaller, and then right before I made this, I doubled them in size to see what it would do, and I already like it. I already like all the frenetic chaos that this applies to the game. So now this guy is running around trying to get to his spot, and he can't seem to get to his spot. He got to his spot. Now he's moving on to the next room. So, they block your shots. So I'm trying to protect this guy. Hit him. There we go. Clearly, this applies a lot of bugs that I haven't tested yet, but I will get to eventually. And this guy's just running around. Okay, so this is why you don't change things right before you turn in something, because I have yet to create a. Look at all these. They're gonna hurt him. Alright, here we go. So, we escaped that room. So, clearly, some bugs work out. When they're smaller, it works out pretty well. But they're not small, they're much larger. And just to show you this, how the medkit will heal myself, 90%. The bottom one is clearly his. He's at 40%, and I'm at 90%. All right, so he got to the last one. Now he's moving on to the other room. So this room, we'll turn off the lights, which I really like. I actually really like that other room. I need to mess with it some more. That's kind of fun. Just provides a lot of frenetic chaos. All right, lights are off. Now I'm in this maze, and I've got a lot of reflective material and a flashlight, so some interesting things are going on. Oh, look, I can heal myself. I also need to... I'll talk about that later. But doing pretty good. I've got a 32 so far. If you look at the bottom right hand side of the screen, you'll see my score. Oh gosh, he's down to 20% life. I'm still doing it. I'm keeping him alive. Alright. Keep them coming. I need to, when they die, turn off all their collision boxes, not just one, because whenever he dies, the hitbox is still on, but the regular collision is not. It doesn't turn off, and so it stops him. Oh, he died. There we go. Final score 37. We'll do one more playthrough. I won't play through to completion. I'll probably kill myself at the end. But you've basically seen it all. Again, here's how it works. He's going places. So the top yellow bar is the magic / ammo bar that I adjusted to shoot a little faster. I adjusted the curve so it can shoot faster, and then I adjusted the recharge rate instead of 5 seconds to 3 seconds, so I can shoot more. It definitely needs some tuning. All right, going back into the darkness. Into the darkness with the... Got him. Go to the darkness with my flashlight and my reflective material, which I absolutely think is fun. Clearly not polished. Just kind of exercise to see if I can throw something together real quick and provide some sort of gameplay. My favorite part is actually probably the paintballs. Surprisingly, it's just something simple that I created on day one, and I just added a decal, so it turns this into, instead of shooting bullets, I'm shooting paintballs. So all of a sudden, it's not as violent. I'm shooting muffins with guns, shooting people with guns, if that mattered to anybody. So this game's okay for your kids, I guess. It's just like certain. There we go. All right, so I've survived so far, and they keep coming. And I'm moving in, and I have no clue where I'm going, right, because of this maze. Moving through. Okay, I'm out. The light's back on. Yay! So, you'll see that this top here is reflective. The reason why that is because I'm not really good with lighting, as I talked about before. I'll heal myself. Watch this come back in 5 seconds. And boom, spawn back up. That works. I like it. I'm not very good with lighting, so I couldn't figure out how to put a skylight on in an enclosed area like a cave. And so what I did was I turned off all shadows. So this clearly needs work because it confuses them when they get hit, and I'm not sure I like that. So that definitely needs some debugging to work. Oh, and dead. There we go. So, but anyway, back to the story. I'm not quite good. I'm learning lights. So first thing, as far as my post-mortem goes, is to learn lights. I just started delving into it, and I don't know a lot of lighting effects. And I know lighting is great for atmosphere and gameplay and everything, and I'm not very smart on it. So what I ended up doing was with this trigger, I had it turn off the skylight. You can only have one skylight at a time, which I found out. And so I can only do this once in one room, unless I created another trigger that turns off that skylight, which I definitely couldn't figure out how to do with C++. I'd figure it out with blueprints, but I couldn't figure it out with C++. So anyway, skylight, I did not know how to light up the area with an enclosed space. So what I ended up doing is I made the ceiling, which is right here. I just have it hidden in the editor so I can actually see what's going. So I made the ceiling here, but what I did was I turned off its shadows. So it does not simulate shadows. I can't remember lighting. I can't remember where it is, but one of these is it says something about shadows, and I turned off shadows. So it doesn't do anything with lighting. And when I put a regular, which is great because now light goes through it and it's perfect. However, because light goes through it and it doesn't bounce off when I'm actually using normal materials. Unless I use emissive color, you can't see anything, it's just dark. And if you use emissive color, then it's just this bright, whatever the texture is, and it doesn't work for me either. So what I ended up doing was I made it a reflective material, and it just reflects the lights as part of the material. So it made it a neat look, I guess, for the ceiling. And it also kept it dark whenever I entered here into the maze. So I really like that. It was just a quick workaround. Couple things that I like about this game. I like the fact that I learned how to incorporate C++ and blueprints. Everything I have here pretty much is either made through a combination of C++ and blueprints, and not just one or the other. Everything mixes them together, which I believe that's how they make their games in actual development. Is they use a lot of the blueprints for the easier things, and when it comes time to creating stuff that needs more finesse, they go back into C++. So I definitely learned how to use that. I like the different gameplay elements that I applied to it. Each room has something different. Sometimes they're simple. This one just has like a river of lava. That's what that simulates. And this one has a pool of lava. Nothing's too crazy, but I like how this room has these things moving around. However, since I made them big, it kind of messes with the movement AI, so I'd have to debug that some more. And then I really like this room here, where it's just a simple maze, but then you turn the light off and all of a sudden the maze gets that much harder. I like, instead of just a wave game, having to escort your muffin, kind of like going through waypoints. And I believe that's something you see in Overwatch, right? So it forces you to maneuver through the level. And I guess that's a great way to trick the player to see as much as the level that you create, is either by creating waypoints or creating something to escort. I know some people don't like escort missions per se. To me, they can actually add a lot of stress. So maybe you do something instead of you're escorting somebody, it just forces you to go and collect a certain thing in a certain room. You know, forcing them to go into different areas, because that way, instead of just like before I had this guy and it was just waves upon waves, I could just go into a corner and be like, hey, I'm shooting you, and you know, as they come, I can just stay in the corner and be safe my whole life. But this way, it forces me to go throughout the game, and plus, because this guy goes to random places, it forces me go. You know, every playthrough is different, and I like that too. It applies replayability. So obviously, if given time, I would make it look nicer. This is about as simple as I can make it. However, I'm a true believer that great games have great artwork, yes, and have a unique style. However, gameplay is forever. So that's why those 8-bit games from a long time ago are still played, because it has great gameplay, even though it may look like garbage now. So gameplay is forever. So I'd rather focus on the gameplay and the interaction of myself and the environments and the characters than have great artwork. I think great artwork takes time, and so I put together all these super simple shapes, and just, you know, given time, I would clearly make this look a lot better. I just wanted to nail down the artwork, and wanted to see if I can make something that works in a rather short period of time, which I believe I did. So that's all I got for my post-mortem. Let me know what you think. I'm going to put this in my discussion early so people have a chance to look at it if they want. And I really enjoyed this class. I've got one more to go. I've got the capstone, and then I graduate. So I'm pretty excited about this. Thank you, everybody, to include the instructor. Thanks, everybody, for their help and participation. And I hope everybody has great luck in their future endeavors. Thank you so much.